Seas be ours, and by the powers, where we will, we'll... Hey! What's that? Be it time for the daily beatings already? I'll warn ye, the last one hit me so hard, he shattered every bone in his own hand, which... mark me words, be a grisly sight on a skeleton. Wait, ye ain't one of the servants' men. Stretch? Be that you, Stretch? Oh, Stretch. You need to get me out of here. They've got me stuck with their fell reaper magics. They scattered something out by the door, and then they started with their horrible incantations. I've been trapped in here for a... What? Unbelievable. What were that? You be wanting to know what happened before I were taken by the Reapers? Well, you see, it'd be sort of a long story, but I suppose we got time for it. It all started on Plunder Outpost with them dreadful words that no pirate be wanting to hear as they leave the tavern.
Psst. Hey, pirate! I need your help with something. Quietly.
Woe betide that accursed landlubber Lorena. By my account, she be getting me into more trouble than I even do myself. And that be saying something. I wish I could have just ignored the wench. I really do, but she had a message meant to be going to me, and she wouldn't take no for an answer.
That's right. From Madame Olivia herself. Looks like you impressed her last time you met. She's asked that you speak with her at Plunder Outpost. You might want to hurry. I've learned it's best not to get on her bad side.
I could hear the sarcasm dripping off her every word as she told me to stop by Olivia's tent. No doubt she heard tell of what happened after me last voyage for her, and she wanted to rub it in. But if Olivia were wanting to see me again, perhaps it meant I had a chance to get back in her good graces and off the Ancient Isles blacklist.
Once more, I bid you welcome. It has been some time since we spoke of a cure for Tasha's curse. Briggsy believed that a cure did indeed exist. A remedy created by the ancients long ago. Her memories are quite clear.
Yeah, when I was young, Briggsy told me all about her hunt for the secret stars. Whatever those are. Funny thing though, some of my pages are missing. I don't remember doing that.
No matter. I have imbued Briggsy's mask with her memories. Use it and Tasha's drawings to guide you through the wilds.
Oh, before you go, this is one of Briggsy's gifts, but it matches a picture from the book. Thought it might come in handy.
I would advise caution, however. Briggsy never did obtain her cure. If you follow in her footsteps, I fear you are fated to discover why.
I could hear the threats in her tone, even if her words were kind enough. I suppose for wee Tasha's sake, that. Her message were clear as day to me, however. If I fail, there would be consequences. And so off I went, chasing a legend, with naught but an old mask and the drawings of a child to guide me path. Great. Speaking of that old mask, there was something disquieting about it. It almost felt like it were trying to communicate through hushed whispers, telling me where it needed to go. It'd be healthy to keep some superstition about you on these waters. And while I can't speak for every disembodied voice, something about this one seemed, well, mostly harmless, if not trustworthy. So I marked the islands where it were telling me to make sail. The first of me destinations, on account of it being close by, were Crook's Hollow. Now I'll admit, I weren't rightly sure just what the mask were wanting me to see here. At least, I weren't until it told me to put it on.
Oh yes, the Shroud Breaker, the stuff of legends. It makes sense that it was me that put it together then, doesn't it? When I'm back from visiting the Shores of Gold, I've promised to spend loads of time with Tasha. Continue her training. Those were great times. I miss them. If I could have one wish, it would be to get back to them.
Memories. To be precise, them a one cat and Briggsy. Now, as I mentioned before, I met the last ones, but it were under... well...
Today, you have the honor of dying at the hands of Captain Briggsy.
Ahem. Different circumstances. She left an impression, you see. So, naturally, I were expecting something far less easy on the eye. Well, what I mean to say is less utterly monstrous than she were as a skeleton lord. Yeah, that'd be it. Oh, go to hell, Stretch. Now, getting back to the point of the story. I'd seen what I were meant to on Crook's Hollow, so I turned to Tasha's old book to figure where I were needing to go next. Turns out it were crooked masks up in the wilds. You know, come to think of it, Tasha sent me here last time, too. After evading a welcoming party of slithering serpents. I took to them drawings, breathing a sigh of relief when I found that I'd come ashore a mere stone's throw away from where I were needed. I donned the rogue's mask and turned me gaze skyward, stepping aside until the stars were aligned.
We're looking for a story that leads us to the skeleton curse and its cure. This is the beginning of that story. An owl. My belief is that it represents a wise leader, perhaps a king.
Well, I mean, I suppose owls be a sign of wisdom. Not sure I'd have made the leap to king, but I could see how you'd get there. The next to Tasha's markers were up high on the southern end, so I made me way up to them peaks, slaying a few ocean crawlers before finding the next batch of stars.
A butterfly. It must relate to the other constellations somehow. Butterflies are colorful and fleeting. They hop from one flower to the next in search of nectar. So perhaps this is a person who shared those traits. But it must be an important one to be placed among the stars.
Okay, Briggsy, I'll give that one to ye. Still don't be certain they truly be representing people, but sure, I can see it. What I couldn't see, however, were just where all of this were leading towards. Once I dug up both of the old Catton's keys, I went off to find the last spot, hoping that it would make things a touch more clear. If ye be wondering, no, it didn't.
This one's more abstract. These peaks do not represent a real place. Believe me, I looked. They seem to indicate a difficulty, like a mountain to be climbed and overcome. Maybe the butterfly is the son or daughter of the king, a carefree prince, but bound by duty. So he had to shape up and do something worthwhile, or prove himself.
Briggsy were assigning an awful lot of meaning to them little dots in the sky, but so long as I found the treasures I were looking for, I suppose I didn't mind so much. Now, once her chest were aboard me, Stretch, not a damn word. Aboard me ship, I put them keys to use, fitting them into the locks and opening her up. There were a couple of trinkets, good for some petty gold at the end of this voyage, but what truly caught me eye were the piece of the amulet that lay there beside him, matching the one I'd been given back at Plunder. Now, after putting the loot below deck, I elected to pay a visit to another place the mask had whispered to me. The Unicorn Tavern at Ancient Spire. Surely, if Captain Briggsy made memories anywhere, she'd have made some here.
Ah, the Unicorn Tavern. I love this place. I'd tell such tales sitting by that fire. And every night, the same little girl would come and listen. Tasha. The nearest person I had to family, outside of Suds. She looked at me with eyes that somehow made me feel like a better person. The eyes of an innocent. I wanted to teach her everything I knew.
Aye, just as I figured. What I give to trade stories by that... What? I weren't saying nothing. Moving on, I had more memories to be digging up. with the next one being over at Lone Cove. What? No, it weren't like that, you blackguard! If I'm to understand the story with the constellations, I need to understand her perspective a tad more. Now don't I? No, what the hell do you know?
Of all the would-be pirates I've encountered in my time, one of the most promising was Rose. She really lived up to the nickname she had. Wild. I suppose I was partly responsible for her and her fate. After all, once you've met me, who doesn't want to become an adventurer extraordinaire? She never let danger scare her away. Just like I said, that did lead to problems. But she's with her dear, dear George now, and I'm glad they're both happy.
You be giving yourself a tad much credit there, Briggsy. Anyway, that were all the important memories she had of this place, so I moved on to the next island in Tash's old book. Old Faithful... Oh god, it's Old Faithful Isle. I'll try to make this quick. I know that no sailor wants to hear much about that great, big, greyish-brown splotch on the map.
Right, yes. A black widow spider. As deadly as one of Sud's terrible jokes. Reckon she's a weaver of webs too. And that means lies and intrigues. A woman close to the king. An advisor, or perhaps his queen? No doubt she led him astray somehow.
Okay, seriously, is she getting all this from some ancient tome or something? Cause it sorta just sounds like she be making it up as she goes along.
I remember this. My favorite. A panther. Beautiful and deadly. Remind you of anyone? So, I feel a connection to this one. A strong woman who gets given a bad rap. My intuition tells me we're looking at another relative of the king, or the prince.
I mean, I understand symbolism and such, and I know it were important to the ancients, but come on.
This one had me beat for a while, but I worked it out. Of course I did. It's me. Old Suds used to say the palm tree had a ceremonial or even religious importance to the ancients. So, this palm tree must be a temple, even where the trials took place. If it is, then maybe the king's wayward son went there to prove himself. And he was probably manipulated by that vicious widow. But where is that blasted temple?
You see, this be precisely what I mean. How do you look at a palm tree of all things and think, oh, aye, that be representing a temple, sure enough? I just can't wrap my mind around it. I mean, aye, perhaps I be wrong, but you have to admit, you think it'd be a stretch too. Right, Stretch? Why do I even bother? Anyway, that were all on Old Faithful. I unlocked Briggsy's chest, claimed the piece of her amulet that were within, and went off to track down more of her old memories. There were one located on the beaches of Thieves' Haven.
Look around. This is history in the making. The first place I landed in the Sea of Thieves. Not the grandest of entrances for a legend like me, I'll grant you. But it's where I managed to pick up my first ship. I say pick up. I think you can guess what I mean by that. Unless you're not as smart as you look. The Homeward Dove. That sloop was home to me for a long time.
Damn
It
skeletons.
was literally part of my journey to becoming Captain Briggsy. Who I am today. Or at least who I was.
And the last of them were at North Star Sea Post with old Suds.
You know that I love the stars. If you don't, you really need to pay more attention. They're fascinating and beautiful. Modesty forbids me from comparing myself to them. I know, unusual for me. But I did see a kind of destiny in the stars. And so did my old friend, Suds. I never let the truth get in the way of a good yarn, but Suds was a stickler for accuracy. That's how we met. What he didn't know about the night sky, and the way the ancients saw their strange stars, wasn't worth knowing. I owe him a lot.
See, I told you I could find her thoughts on the matters at hand if I just kept searching for it. Oh, no, not even remotely. In fact, it actually convinced me a bit more that her story were mostly made up on the spot. But that'd still be more information than what I had before. And I'd be taking said information to the last island I were needing to visit, Marauder's Arch. I found the first constellations quick in the old Skelly camp to the east.
This is all beginning to make sense. So, it's an hourglass. Big deal, right? While lesser minds probably couldn't solve this, I could see it meant two options, right or wrong. The sands of fate. A choice. Go one way or the other. I understand now. This must be a decision you have to make in the temple.
Alright, that lesser mind's comment just felt personal. But she'd just be a memory. No point being offended by the words of a ghost, aye? Still, there was something disconcerting about her now. Something more intelligent than before. More aware, it almost seemed.
Now, where are we? A fox? Or a vixen? Cunning for sure. Like me, another strong woman. But there's something about her place in the story. Made me think she wasn't a villain, this one. We should dig a bit more. See what we can find. Oh, now I get it. She comes after the temple, right? She's the High Priest. Why didn't I see this last time?
The hell were that supposed to mean? Now she gets it? Last time, I'd be branded a liar if I tried to say that I weren't just a wee bit spooked.
Bit of a climb, but worth it for the last piece of the puzzle. Finally! The waterfall! Again, I looked for this. Thought it was the entrance to the temple. It had to be some kind of barrier with something hidden beyond. But I know what you're thinking, pirate.
What?
I see the shroud breaker.
What?
It breaks down the wall between two physical places. Of course. I can see it now. It is a barrier, but it leads to the Sea of the Damned. Probably green, like a phantom or an emerald. No wonder I could never find the temple. It was in the Sea of the Damned this whole time.
Aye, that be right. It would appear that the legendary Captain Brixie managed to escape yet another confinement. This time, the cool embrace of death itself. I were quick on me feet, running to go and get the amulet, and absolutely not hesitating for nothing at all. No sorry, not me. Aye, Brixie. Here, I got something that I believe once belonged to ye.
Come, let's me and you trade tales of extraordinary daring-do. Well, here I am. Don't know why you look so surprised. You can stop gawping. We've got a temple to find. Yes. I learned all about Tasha and the curse while we were sharing memories.
While we were what now?
According to what little sense is in your head, I'm dead. Which I'm trying not to take personally, by the way. The question is, how am I back?
Warsmith.
I think that question might be meant for me. The Sea of the Damned has the power to manifest memories, like the wilds, as it existed long ago. When you took Brixie's mask into those figments of the past, it was only a matter of time before she manifested too. And now, she can guide us in person with the amulet.
Don't count on it, Crookie. Something tells me you're to blame for Tasha's curse.
Correct. And the cure is sealed away within the temple. But we can constrain that curse until I decide otherwise. Buy your precious Tasha more time for the creation of my own devising. It will keep us safe while we locate the temple. But you must come with us before we surrender it.
Very well, Warsmith. Once you hand over this creation, then we have a deal. But if you try anything, it will be your last mistake. Wait for us to go, then return to Tasha. Tell her she's going to be okay. I won't let her down again. Now hurry!
Well, she sounded a bit different than usual. I picked up the Warsmith's cannonball and took a peek at Brixie's papers. The last page is of Tasha's old sketchbook. Ugh. If I ever have a daughter and she draws something like this, I'm taking her to a church and leaving her there. Ugh. Now then, I had all I'd set out for, so I think it be high time I return to Plunder Outpost to speak with Olivia and Tasha.
The Order of Souls welcomes you.
I can't believe it. Brixie back after all this time. And she's still looking out for me.
Yes, and it would appear that Brixie's sacrifice of her newfound freedom has paid off. Warsmith has indeed crafted this very special cursed cannonball to delay the spread of the curse. As to the true cure, I can see it resides in an ancient temple, long since lost, in which lurks a great evil. Something dangerous enough to make Brixie tear out the last pages of Tasha's story. Perhaps she left them behind as a warning. However, things are by no means over. The Dark Brethren hold all the cards. We must hope that Briggsy continues to serve their needs, or I fear...
It's all right, you can say it. You fear I'll be lost. Well, I still believe Briggsy will do whatever it takes to save me.
Perhaps that is wise. Right now, I'm afraid belief is all we have.
After that, I ferried wee Tasha back to Ancient Spire in exchange for a few rounds of free rum. But then... well, it'll be over for now. Let's head back to an outpost. I'd kill for some food that weren't rat